So hello everybody, it's time for a little bit of an update. Robert Stephan is about to get, within the next couple of months, a couple of siblings. I am getting a couple of dolls that are factory made, reborn style. And I'm also getting a couple of kits. So I will be making some new dolls and hopefully getting better at painting both skin tones and hair. The hair is the biggest problem for me. But I do want to make a baby with sleepy time eyes. You know, so it has open eyes and sleeping eyes. I also want a baby that is sleeping all the time. And I also want a baby that's like awake all the time. And so those are the kits that I actually want to work with. I don't know exactly who the sculptors are going to be yet. And I don't know if they're just going to end up being generic like the one that I did for Kaylee, or if they're actually going to be by some major sculptor. Depends on the price, because I'm limited legally to a certain amount. I can't spend over that amount for anything, and which is a major frustration to me. The sooner I can start making enough money to get off of disability, the happier I'm going to feel. But, yeah. So my canvases got here yesterday, and I got Kaylee's dolls shipped off yesterday. And so that was the good news. The bad news is I'm waiting on my new debit card to get to me so that I can actually buy things, and you know, because right now I've just got my checks, and there's not hardly any place around anymore that accepts checks, except for my landlord. So, which is about the only time of the month I write a check is at the beginning of the month I write the rent check. And I don't know what I'm going to do if my landlord ever goes to where you have to use your credit card to pay rent or something like that. I just have no idea. Okay, it's been a bad week for the fibromyalgia, and so I've had to deal with an extremely exorbitant amount of pain and other symptoms that go along with it, like your digestive tract all of a sudden deciding that it's super sensitive. This morning I woke up with my hair touching my skin on my face and neck was just hurting me a lot. So my hair is now back in a bun, and I've got all these clips and pins holding it back from my face so it doesn't hurt me. And that's just, you know, normal every day. There are a couple of other health issues right now that are a lot more troubling. And one is probably going to mean surgery, major surgery in the next few months, which I don't have the money for, I don't have the insurance for, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I don't know how I'm going to make it. This is what it's like to be poor in America. Not quite to the point of being homeless again. That's a whole other issue, and not one I want to talk about right now, because I spent too many years homeless and dealing with the reality of that, and I'm too old to be homeless again. So, as long as I can stay in a house or an apartment, no matter how shabby it looks, I'm a step to the good. And if I can actually get to where my paintings are selling, my dolls are selling, then I can improve the situation, living and what have you, which is my goal, actually, is just to make things better. I don't care if I'm a billionaire like Trump, or Jeff Bezos, or Mark Zuckerberg. I don't care. They have their wealth, and they're doing what they do with it, and that's just their life. But that's not what my life is about. My life is not about being super uber wealthy and being, super uber powerful. That's a whole other ball game, and it has nothing to do with reality. Because reality isn't about how much money that you have, or how many people follow you on Facebook or Twitter, or even how many people follow you on YouTube. Reality and the quality of your reality has to do with the way you're living your life and how you're interacting with other people in real life, not on social media. And so when I open up my life to you on these little podcast thingies that I do on YouTube, I'm actually just sharing a part of my world with you. And my world may be kind of boring to some people. That's okay. But, hey, we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. I'm an artist. And I'm a bookworm. And I love collecting dolls. I collect so many things, not just the dolls. But I find that the older I get, my collections actually bring me more joy than interacting with people. Because, especially the last few years, people have just been very cruel and so full of hatred and so full of fear. And they say some of the most god-awful things and do some of the most god-awful things. I worry about going to shopping at the mall, because what if some guy walks in there with 5 or 6 guns strapped on him and all of a sudden snaps and starts shooting everybody? It's happened here in America. Kids in school, little kids, 5 and 6 and 7 years old, are having active shooter drills so that they can hopefully not. And don't you think that's traumatizing to children? To have to worry about some man or woman coming in there with a bunch of guns and just walking up and start shooting at people? People really, is it worth having all those guns? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to hate people? I don't think so. But, so, yeah, I'm working on a painting right now that was inspired by one of the romance novels that I've been reading. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. In fact, it may wind up being one of the ones I paint over and start over again later. I'm going to be putting up on my Patreon page my gallery of all my paintings, but I'm going to have it set for my patrons. So if you want to see what I'm doing, it would be nice if you would be a patron. And the low end of the scale is $3 a month. At $3 a month, you're going to see my posts. And the high end of the scale is $25 a month. And that's not too bad. And each separate tier, there's 3 tiers. Each tier will get you a little bit more. And when I start getting patrons and I start actually making sales and stuff, I'm going to start doing giveaways. Just to say thank you. Because I love you guys so much. You're a blessing. Everybody that follows me is a blessing. So, whether you're my subscriber on YouTube, or you're a friend or follower on Facebook, or you're a patron on Patreon, or you follow me on Liker, or Twitch. I haven't started doing anything much with Twitch, and I want to start doing something with that. Everybody is important to me. People are important to me. You know? Because we all live in this big, beautiful world, and everybody's lives touch everybody else's lives. There's, you know, the old saying of 6-degree separation. We're only a few degrees separation. And the people that get isolated the most, like me, they have to find ways of connecting. And they have to find ways of reaching out and actually interacting. And unfortunately, there's going to come a time when all the technology in the world is not going to be the way that we do it. There's going to come a time when it's just gone. And if you don't know how to interact face to face, well, then you're going to be even more isolated. But that time's not right now. Right now, I still have a way of reaching out to people on the net. And I have a way of interacting, because when you give such wonderful comments, and if you email me, or you contact me on Facebook or whatever, and we get to, you know, texting back and forth and everything, we're at least trying to hold a conversation, trying to talk with each other. We're at least being friends with each other. So, but yeah, would you like to see the painting that I'm working on? Let me get up and gimp over here to the dining room where I'm working on it. And please don't mind the mess, because I've got stuff I'm trying to get done today. But this is the painting I'm working on. And it doesn't look like a whole lot right just yet. But the author is Jane Ann Krentz, and the series of novels is about a planet called Harmony. And there's this really interesting thing about Harmony. There's the planet is a very high psionic energy type planet, and there's like this green fog that comes up and covers everything. And you know, lighter sometimes and thicker other times. And there's this island that's called Rain Shadow. Well, that particular picture was inspired by the island of Rain Shadow, one of the coves where people can sail in, and so anyway, by the time I get through with it, it's going to have a little bit more detail, but it's also going to have the green fog. And I'm going to see if that turns out right. If it turns out right, then it'll go in my pile. And if it doesn't turn out right, it'll go in another pile of stuff that is waiting to get redone. So, yeah. Oh, would you like... I could show you some of my other paintings. I've got like 3 boxes of paintings in here that I've got to get on my Patreon page. About 20, 30, well, 20 paintings in each box, you know, so it's like 60 or 70 paintings there. That is in my sale pile. And I've got some more paintings in the other room. And I've just got to get all these paintings up on my Patreon page. Of course, there's a few of them won't go on my Patreon page because they are anatomy studies. And, you know, I don't want to have nudes posted online. I don't want that kind of attention. And if somebody wants to see them and buy them, they'll have to meet with me in person. It's just not something I'm going to actually be putting online. But my other ones, my paintings of the landscapes and some of my caricatures, that sort of thing, are going to go up on my Patreon page. But yeah, my YouTubes are going to start getting more interesting. If you lasted this long into the video, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can email me at my email address in the description below, normapatricia48@gmail.com. And you can find my Patreon page in the description below. The link is https patreon.com/ capital letters PNH, lowercase letters AND, capital letter R. So, I will talk at you later. Have a very blessed week. And thank you for being my subscriber and follower on YouTube. Love y'all. Bye-bye.